All right. Thank you very much for joining us. This is Serious Matters on Honest TV. My name is Olukunle Abraham. And like I always tell you, whenever you see me, you know there's something to discuss. I will not just show up and come and be doing any out thing here. You know, there is a matter to discuss. When you hear in the Yoruba land, they say, Mowolu. You know, like something that has never happened before is happening now. Of course, you must have heard that Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, has gone to visit former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. Oh, I know some of you have said, oh, yeah. And some, you know, can now go and visit. I think this must have resulted from his several consultations, knowing you can't do away with them. Now, the race is becoming interesting, and I'm getting very much interested in the way the race is going. I mean the race to the presidency come 2023. So earlier on today, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, who a lot of people now refer to as a Milokan of Nigeria, was received by the one that they were referred, that people also refer to as Eleyi of Ogun State, and several other dignitaries in Ogun State earlier on today. And so let's watch this particular welcome, you know, that was given to Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. Let's see what the welcome was, you know, before we now go into the details and the outcome. I'm sure you are looking forward to knowing what really happened, what transpired, what was the meeting all about. I mean, you are already seeing some pictures scrolling on your screen. And so let's watch this video and see what the welcome was in the first place. Okay. Yeah, there my producer is telling me there is another one. Yeah, so earlier on he arrived in Abeokuta in that helicopter and was welcomed by, of course, the dignitaries that you see there, ranging from former Governor Benga Daniels, and also he is a senatorial aspirant on the platform of the APC, and also welcomed by the Governor of Ogun State, Governor Abiodun Dakpo, who a lot of you also say is the Eleyi of Ogun State. You know, anyway, that was just on a very lighter mood. But then welcomed by quite a number of people on that trip. On that team with Asiwaju, we find, and when you look at the picture scrolling on your screen, you'll find the likes of Baba Akande. You know, these are elders, you know, in the APC. You find several other top persons, you know, in the party who accompanied Asiwaju Bola Tinubu to go and see the former president of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. You will recall that the duo have never not been friends for quite some time. You recall that even when he came, he went to Abeokuta, and all this issue of Emilokan, Eleyi, and all of this came up. He didn't visit, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. Also noting that several other presidential candidates, which also includes Peter Obi, had gone to visit Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. But then, at the end of the day, finally, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu has come to see the former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. You want to know what they discussed? Then let's look at that in a moment, because one thing that comes to mind is, so at last, because personally, I have, I find this very, very interesting, and I give it to Asiwaju for doing this. Look, you can't do away with Asian landmarks. Don't ever say Komata. Don't say Komata. It doesn't matter. If he doesn't allow, no. In the history of politics of Nigeria, I think Asiwaju is just a Jagaban of Lagos. When you talk about Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, he's a Jagaban of Nigeria. You understand? Yes, I'm not saying that they stay there to say you are the one to become president or you are the one to become, but to a very large extent, they have a say in endorsing people. Even though he has said he's not a partisan person anymore, considering his age and all of that, yes, he would advise and all of that. But I think it is good whether he endorses Asiwaju, that rift in between them is sorted, and it is glaring to every Congress APC. Bola Tinubu earlier on today, Wednesday, visited the penthouse residence of former President Olusegun Obasanjo at the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library, OOPL, Abeokuta. Now, Tinubu visited Obasanjo in company of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, Chief Bisi Akande, and Nuhu Ribadu. The company is thick, and are they going to say, we want to go and help you to beg him? Or in fact, the fact that he comes alone, he doesn't need to go there and say, Baba, I'm sorry for whatever happened, I'm sorry, and this or that. I think Asiwaju was just being, the kind of strong man believing in himself. And the truth is, he actually proved to Nigerians that he could handle a lot of things. Recall that for about 2 years, he didn't get allocations. And he just said, well, and he kept running the state, and he didn't owe salaries. That was strong. I'm not saying that Asiwaju is not, yes, a lot of them might just be pointing the direction of his health and all of that. We just do not want to repeat, what happened during this at the beginning of this administration. That's the fear of so many. It's not because, personally, I'm not saying that Asiwaju is not brilliant or, but then, now, taking this step is it's a landmark for him. It's a landmark for him, and softening the rift, the relationship between him and Baba, because he's not been. I know at a point he called him a retired. He called him several names, but then I want to believe that has been put behind them now. Both of them are getting old, and so. At about 1 p.m. when Tinubu's chopper landed within the OOPL, he was received by Governor Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State, former governors Segun Oshoba and Daniel, Speaker of the House of Representatives Olakunle Oluomo, and other top government functionaries were there to receive him. Sure, they must have been aware that he was on his way or coming. At about 1:20 p.m., Tinubu and his entourage went into Obasanjo's residence to meet their host. And inside, Lagos State Governor Abiodun Gbajabiamila Osoba, Akande, Ribadu, and others first held a meeting with Balogun Owu behind closed doors. After about an hour, the former president pulled Tinubu and they both went into a private room for another meeting. It was gathered that the duo had a private discussion not known to any of those who went in with the APC national leader. Our correspondent learned that Tinubu later had lunch at Obasanjo's place before he departed after about 2 hours. When he was accosted by pressmen downstairs, the presidential candidate refused to grant an the MKO Abiola Stadium. Tens of APC stalwarts had stormed the former president's residents, singing, drumming, and dancing, as we saw in one of the videos, addressing artisans. An APC faithful at the MKO Abiola Stadium, Tinubu said he was not in Ogun State for campaign. He was not, of course, officially campaign has not started, but look at the crowd of people that went there to wait for him. He said, "We love what the governor is doing, and we are glad with all the support you have given him. Campaign has not started yet," so he must be very, very careful so as not to work against the law. Could get into trouble with that. I'm just here to greet you. Thank you, and God bless you. God bless Ogun State. God bless Nigeria. God bless your children. Thank you. That was it. But then, what's your opinion on this particular matter, on this particular visit? What do you think? Is it going to change the face of things? Recall that earlier on today, also Peter Obi of the Labour Party had gone to visit Femi Kuti, because of course there was a statement that was credited to Femi Kuti saying saying something against the Labour Party, which Labour Party supporters, Peter Obi supporters, the obedience, did not, take lightly with him. But then Peter Obi had gone to visit him to make the line straight, make everything straight, to let him know, look, we are not, nobody's fighting, we're only gunning for a better Nigeria. And that's what he said he went there to do. We saw the picture of them having a meeting there in his sitting room. So this reunion, do you think Baba Obasanjo will now say, okay, now that Asiwaju has come to beg me, I will now endorse him as against my endorsement of Peter Obi? Yes, I'm not saying Baba came out to endorse Peter Obi. He didn't. He has never come out to, because he mentioned that he's not a partisan person. So yes, he might have been making certain moves, doing certain trips like we saw in news online and all of that. But then he has not come out to say, oh, this is the person I'm supporting, or this is that person I'm supporting. We have only been kind of reading body languages and all of that. However, what is your opinion on this particular one? What's your opinion on this particular visit of the Asiwaju Bola Tinubu to former President Olusegun Obasanjo? It's interesting to me. Personally, I'm interested in, this whole thing. It's making the whole race very, very much interested, because when you see, the thick lines being made thin, so that there could be relationship could go on smoothly. Well, could there be some U-turn and all of that? Could there be a round table and, say, okay, let's do it